Hey, what's up, everybody? I am here with my good friend Bhashini, and she is here, and she wants to give us an insight about her wonderful business of trust and estate law. And I am so proud to introduce her and to use her wisdom to educate and hopefully get the help that you may need with your business and your needs. So, Bashini, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Roxanne. I'm happy to join you.
And I apologize if I didn't pronounce your name. So tell us how we pronounce your name.
So it's Bhashini Phone, and it gets mispronounced all the time, but I take no offense.
Well, thank you for that. So I will learn to do that right. Bhashini, take us away. Let us know what you do and how you help your clients.
Absolutely. So I have a solo practice where I do estate planning and business law. So all on the transactional side, I work with clients to help them figure out what their needs are, how to best protect their assets, how they want to leave it to the next generation, what's the best vehicle for that. For their businesses, I help them figure out what type of entity they want to form, partnership agreements, how to basically protect themselves when they're dealing with third parties and deal with regulatory matters and things like that. So a lot of fun stuff.
A lot of fun stuff. And how long have you been practicing law?
So I am in my 11th year. Actually, my anniversary, I'm finishing my 10th year in like 2 days. So I started practicing on June 1st. So my anniversary is coming up.
Congratulations. That's a long time.
Thank you. It's been fun.
So have you been doing trust and estates the whole time?
For the most part, yes. So I started in nonprofit. I worked with the local nonprofit where we work with HIV/AIDS patients, and I was doing estate planning for those patients and those clients. And when I started my own practice in 2013, it was one of the things that I decided to keep in my practice because I really love that aspect of it. And I love working with clients on estate planning, and I was uniquely good at it. So I just kept that part of it. And then I also added business law into it.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so why should somebody set up a trust? Why would that be important?
So that's a question that I get a lot. And I did actually do a YouTube video on this. Just so that people could kind of understand what the benefits of it are. But it basically boils down to the fact that if you own real property in California, for example, a house or land, that you are going to wind up, when you pass away, your estate is going to have to go through probate, which can be time consuming, it can be costly. So it leaves your family in a position that's not ideal. And if you were to create a trust, you could bypass that and make it easier for your family. So you could have that peace of mind knowing that you have taken care of your family and that you have saved them from that headache of having to go through probate. So it's a very easy way to bypass probate.
And expensive too, right?
So probate is very expensive. There are statutory fees involved. And, if you have, let's say, an estate that's worth $500,000, you're probably looking at about $13,000 in just attorney fees for probate because it's statutory fees. So there's 4% on the first 100,000, 3% on the next 100,000, 2% on the next 800,000, 1% on the next I believe $1 million. So it just keeps adding up, so you want to just bypass all of that, bypass the cost to your family and instead leave that money to your loved ones. So
if you are setting up a trust as opposed to going through probate, what would be the cost difference?
So with the trust, attorneys can charge. There's no statutory fees involved, so it really depends on who you're working with. And attorneys have a range that they go with. For me personally, if you are an individual trying to do an estate plan, the entire estate plan, the trust, the wills, advanced healthcare directives, power of attorney, all of those documents get included in a bundle. And if you're an individual, you're looking at somewhere between $2,000 to $3,000. If you're a couple, you're looking more like around $3,000 to $4,000. But it's significantly lower than what probate would cost.
So if you really love your children, you set up a trust rather than just let them deal with probate. That's basically what it comes down to, right?
Well, if you love your children and you want to avoid having to send them through that process, yes.
So I see a heart behind you. What's the story of that heart?
So this is basically a view inside to my heart, actually. It's all my family and friends, and I I live alone. So this is something that helps me to kind of stay engaged and connected to my world, beyond just what's immediately in my world, if that makes sense. So it takes me back into moments in my life that have been really uplifting and fantastic, and I just love it.
So that positive mindset also helps you keep going and stay on top of your goals and your business.
It does. I am a huge believer in positive mentality. So I try to engage in that at all times. I try to stay in that state at all times. So having little reminders, things that help me to kind of move beyond the everyday stressors is really great, and it's a great way for me to just stay in that correct energy level I want to stay at.
So I went onto your Facebook page and I saw quite an interesting array of things. What is this? It captured my attention.
Yes, so that's a painting. I actually have it behind me, and there's one that I did yesterday, actually. Um, I do the wine and paint nights with my friends all the time. And yesterday, with Saba San Diego, which is South Asian Bar Association of San Diego, we had a paint night event where they guided us through making this beautiful painting. So it's supposed to be some flowers, and this is supposed to be the bouquet aspect. I think it might look better if I turn it. But art is always subjective. So I tell myself it's okay that it's not perfect. But it's a fun way to relax and de stress at the end of a long day. So I love it.
And it's very different from your normal world of business and law to get into painting.
Yes, so I find that, you want to always find balance in your life. So because I'm what's generally known as a left brain person who stays in that logical side at all times, it's good for me to find something to balance that with. So painting, doing something creative with my hands, that's really helpful to me. So I do that all the time. I find creative ways that I could engage my other side of the brain.
Right, right. So I also found this picture on your Facebook page. So tell us more about what's going on here.
Yeah, so that's actually my brother who is graduating from his residency program. He's a third year family medicine resident at Eisenhower in Riverside. And because of COVID-19, they're not able to hold the actual ceremony this year. So to make all the residents feel special, they had put up these signs on campus at the hospital. So he sent us a picture of it, and we're just so proud of him. He's going to be done at the end of June. So he's been doing incredible work. And, this there's a long time coming, but he has finally made it to that level. So it's fantastic.
That is very special, very special. Well, congratulations to you and to your brother for such a accomplishment.
Thank you. I mean, he and I are only a year apart, so we're very close, and we grew up being very close knit family. So his accomplishments often feel like my accomplishments and vice versa. So we're just really thrilled that he is finishing up. This is going to be actually the final graduation in our family. So it's a big moment, and we're a little sad that we can't celebrate in person and have that moment, but we're definitely going to be celebrating regardless, even if it's via Zoom or something like this that's virtual.
Right, right.
We will find a way to celebrate.
Yeah, that I think this year's celebrations and graduations are very hard for all the families that have those.
Exactly. I mean, I know there are people who are finishing so many levels of schools, and there's a lot of graduates out there who are missing out on that experience. And but I think the families and friends have, and even the schools have been doing a lot to help them still feel special and have that moment, because every accomplishment should be celebrated. I'm a huge believer of that. I think you should, again, going back to that positive mentality, you need to celebrate the small victories, you need to celebrate the big victories, you need to celebrate life. So these are big moments, and you should absolutely not let COVID-19 prevent you from celebrating in a safe manner.
Right.
So finding
Absolutely.
creative ways.
Absolutely. So I also went on your Facebook business page, and
Mhm.
I found this one. Tell
Hi
us
everyone, this is
tell us what's going on about what you
Yeah.
have on your business page about prenups and postnups. A fun subject.
Yes. So that video, by the way, has my sister in it, who is the intellectual property attorney here in San Diego, and we collaborated on this YouTube video, which was really fun to do. And one of the things that I do that Gan is aware of is that I create prenups and postnups for individuals who are in that couple situation and trying to figure out how they want to keep their property separate and protect themselves in case of a divorce and the impacts that can have as to their estate plan. So that's where I come in, and I'm able to advise clients on what they may want to protect and how to go about doing that. And so it's a fun thing to do. So at times it can get very contentious, but for the most part, people remember that they love each other, and that these documents are there to protect both parties, not just an individual party. They are often written in a mirror format, so that, because as life happens, your individual status can flip. So you might be the person with the higher assets now, but later in the marriage that can change. So it can wind up protecting you, even if at the moment you feel like it's not necessarily protecting you, it's protecting the other party. So keeping those perspectives in mind as you go about doing it is very important. But it's really important in a country like the United States, where marriage is not a lifetime commitment per se. It often does lead to divorce. And you want to make sure that if it does end up in a divorce, then you're protected. But in the best case scenario, you never have to deal with it, because you create the document, you put it away, and you have that peace of mind that it's done. And, if your marriage is one of the ones that's successful, that survives, fantastic. You never have to use it. So that's something that to keep in mind.
It's like the Three Little Pigs story. If you build your house out of bricks,
Mhm.
no wind is going to make it fall apart.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I think a lot of people tend to look at prenups as like they're doubting whether the marriage can survive. But to me, it actually shows confidence that the marriage will survive, because if it survives, nothing in that document matters,
Mhm.
you know? So it shows confidence, and it shows that you're in it for the right reasons, that you're not trying to, have a big payday at the end of the marriage. You're in it for the love, and that, you're trying to build a life with somebody. And down the line, it wouldn't matter. So there are times where we put in clauses on there that are sunset clauses, which basically means that if the marriage survives to a certain number of years, the document will then be nullified. Um, but you could do that. You could leave it as a forever document. But you're covered, and you have that peace of mind. So then you could just focus on the relationship itself
That
and
is
build
very,
it.
very smart. That is
Mhm.
very smart. As always, attorneys are there to set up our houses in a timely manner and in an organized manner, so that life can go on and there's no drama and chaos.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I think if you could pre-plan for things, you could avoid a lot of headaches down the line, because the time to be discussing what's fair is now when you hate each other and at each other's throats and have hurt feelings. The time to make that decision is when you love each other and you have the best intent, and your partner has the best intent. So, um, whatever your relationship is, it's always a good idea to at least have a conversation with an attorney about this and then make an informed decision.
That is fascinating. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to quickly go over what I see on your website as for services. So you do estate planning and you also do business law.
Yes. So I work with small businesses. I help them set up their entities and partnership agreements and regulatory matters. So um, if you're thinking about starting a business, it's a good time to reach out to an attorney and talk to them about how to best protect yourself, your assets, and your business. So
And
that's always
they
important.
can have you through your phone number.
Yes, so people can reach me by phone or email. Um, and my email address, I believe you have it. Yes, and also you could just go onto my website. It has all my contact information in there.
All right, very good. And pronounce it for us one more time because I know I am going to butcher it.
Bhashini Veerasinghe.
Very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Bhashini.
Thank
And
you, Roxanne.
thank you for all the services that you provide. I am in the business of selling assets, and I know when it comes down to selling those assets, it is super important to have things in order and have those trusts set up and have those documents set up correctly so that your loved one's life and job to continue with your succession is done correctly.
Exactly. Thank you
All
so
right.
much for having me on this. I really enjoyed this, and
It's
it was
always fun to see you.
it's fun. Thank you.